Hi, I'm Jacqueline Kramer, author of Buddha Mom, and prior to a little talk on Buddha Mom, I'd like to share this passage with you. When I was on retreat at a Catholic convent in Canada some years ago, there was a poster I kept passing in the hall with the message, "Bloom where you are planted." The phrase stuck with me. It dawned on me that I didn't need to go to far-off exotic places or engage in strange, unfamiliar practices to become enlightened. I don't have to wait until I'm financially solvent. I don't have to wait until I can find the right teacher or until my child grows up or until I retire and finally have the time to sit down and meditate. I don't need to wait for anything to happen to become enlightened. I can become enlightened right here where I am, right now, as I engage in mothering and householding. I've been asked by Acupuncture Kitchen to come and give a talk about Buddha Mom and about the Hearth Foundation, which I'm the director of. And in preparing for this talk, at first I put together kind of a informational story. And I thought, no, I really want to share with you from my heart where I'm coming from, where my work is coming from. So in trying to figure that out, I went back to think about where were my sources, who were the people that inspired me, because we all have our teachers, and I have many. I've been blessed with many fabulous teachers. So I want to start with Ina May Gaskin, who wrote Spiritual Midwifery. She influenced, when I got pregnant, I couldn't find anything except for real technical information on pregnancy and birthing. And to me, what it felt like was a very powerful, emotional, mystical experience. And there wasn't anybody addressing that. And somebody gave me her book, and I read it, and it was like water pouring over me. It was just so nourishing. And it's just such a beautiful thing that she did in bringing birthing back to the realm of the feminine, and very much influenced me. When I got pregnant, I had already been meditating for 3 years. So I was very steeped, I was very intense. In fact, before I got pregnant, I asked my teacher about, should I get pregnant or should I become a nun, basically? Because I was very deep, that's how deep into it I was. And she said, no, if you were meant to be a nun, you would have been a nun. So you're meant to do this, so do this. And so I went and I went ahead with that. It was very influential to watch pregnancy and then giving birth and then becoming a mother from the framework of Buddhism, which was I was schooled in the Theravadin Sri Lankan school. Very clear grids they supply, as opposed to Zen, which I'm in now, which is much more numinous and not so concrete. But the concrete aspect of my Theravadin teachings, which was, along with Ina May Gaskin, another key influence, really helped me see, oh my God, all these things that the mystics and saints have been wanting to attain are just like open and unfold naturally with pregnancy, with giving birth, with nursing, with being a mother. Selfless service, unconditional love, letting go. I mean, all of these things are so key to pregnancy, to getting pregnant. There's a letting go that happens to get pregnant. And to give birth, giving birth is letting go. So it's, and then you see your baby and you have this sense of love that is unlike anything you've experienced up till that point, because it is completely unconditional. with our husbands, with our parents, there's always, conditions in the sense of it's not 100% in the sense that it is with a baby, which is hormonally activated by oxytocin and other things, and it's just a natural, one of the most natural, deepest instincts for the preservation of the species is to bond. And in order to bond, you need that unconditional love. So here you are, you're a new mother, and you have this little precious being that you would give your life for. And you almost did. And you really, giving birth is a giving your life to this child. And it just shoots you into another realm. And so what I am attempting to do in my work is to honor that. And Buddha Mom was written from that space of saying, oh my God, look at all, I've watched my friends, it wasn't just me who was studying Buddhism and practicing Buddhism, but people with no spiritual practice at all, or any spiritual practice at all, were becoming transformed. And upon getting pregnant, there was a transformation going on. Giving birth, there was a transformation going on with them. And being a young mother, and then bam, it just continues on. You're on the journey. And it's a wonderful journey, and it's a hard journey, and you need a lot of support. You need professionals, you need friends, you need community, because it is challenging, but it is every quest worth undertaking is challenging. And so I noticed that the same qualities were being developed in my friends, even when they didn't have a spiritual practice, that they were becoming more open, more softer, more loving. There was like a veil that was opening. Now it can close back up very easily, and spiritual practice is really helpful in taking that love that you experience and extending it, in having it open deeper to more people until it's everything and everyone. And that is the ultimate of the practice. So this is what I learned, and then I was looking for resources that would support what I was experiencing and witnessing, and there weren't any. And so that's what Buddha Mom was written out of. Buddha Mom is a memoir. It's not, my journey is not your journey, but it's a story of my journey and my pregnancy and my birthing and my experience being a mother. So women write to me all the time. They say, I really related to it. And so some of you, there'll be pieces you relate to and pieces you don't, because it's my journey and you have your own way of doing things. So I wanted to let you know that, and also that it's something that that encompasses many different things. So it also encompasses your everyday tasks of cleaning and cooking and running a household and all of these things. And what a spiritual practice can do is to help you to have a framework to make everything beautiful. So that means cleaning the dishes is an opportunity for presence. And it's not a complicated thing. It's just taking what you already are gifted with as a mother and homemaker and using it to deepen your own practice. So Buddha Mom is not, and Hearth Foundation, which I'll tell you about in a second, is not about how to parent. I think there's a lot of different ways to parent, and as many different ways as there are people. So I'm not interested in saying, do it this way or do it that way. That's really not at all what I can help you with, or what I know about. I know my own way, and that's it. And like every way, it has its ups and downs and its strengths and weaknesses. But what I can support you in is in your own personal growth as a woman. So, and that does influence your parenting, influences your family life. But what I'm really interested in is you, and that you're this beautiful flower, and you're continuing to unfold. Sometimes when we have our babies, we focus so much on taking care of them, we forget that we're unfolding too, and we're just as important. So this is my interest, and in writing Buddha Mom and in developing the Hearth Foundation. So I'll tell you just a little bit about the Hearth Foundation now. After I wrote Buddha Mom, it got really good distribution all over the world, and I started getting letters in from women in Australia, New Zealand, London, New York, all over the place, saying, "I read your book. I want to work on this more. Do you teach? Do you come teach?" Well, not having wanderlust and not traveling much, and also being a mother myself at the time, so I couldn't, I was home based. There was no way I could travel to where these women were. So what I did is I put together an online class where women from Australia and England and New York and California could all come together at the same time to support each other's practice. And so that's what Hearth Foundation, that's one of the big things Hearth Foundation, one of our in our mission statement, is to connect women together so that they can share their experiences with one another. And the other is to support home-based spiritual practice. So we have many ways that we support your own meditation practice and your own spiritual practice off the pillow as well. We have classes on everyday spiritual practices like gratitude, generosity, letting go, contentment, that are just non-denominational. We also have a series of classes on Buddhism, starting with an intro to Buddhism for people who just have questions. What is it? Who don't know anything about it, want to just kind of get their feet wet. To the next is the Shrine Room series, where we help you create a space for meditation in your home, and in the meantime give meditation instruction as you're creating the space. It's a really cool class. When we come together as a group to do these practices, these lessons through Hearth, it comes alive because of the community coming together to share their personal experiences. So before I leave, I'd like to share with you one little practice you could take home with you, and that is find something in your home or on your way to work that you pass by, whether it could be a red light, it could be a curb, it could be a vase in the living room, and kind of make a predetermined commitment that every time you pass that, you'll become present in your body. And use it as what would be called a mindfulness object. And so it can keep bringing you back, because we go off in our thoughts and thinking this and that and this and that. This will kind of bring you back into the present moment. So you can use anything. In fact, I have one person who uses a string that she puts around her hand, and so when she gets anxious, she just looks at the string and she's back in the present moment. So that's a little practice you can take home with you, and I hope you'll come visit me at the Hearth Foundation, and I hope you enjoy reading Buddha Mom, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this tape.